Excellencies, dear friends, if you could please remain seated while we prepare for the opening plenary, which is going to start in a couple of minutes. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the opening plenary is about to start. Borge, esteemed speakers, President of Nigeria, President of Rwanda, Prime Minister of Malaysia, MD of the IMF, and CEO of Lazard, if I could please ask you all to come to the stage.
Good morning again. Thank you for joining us. We have this all-star panel to open our very consequential meeting. The meeting could not have taken place against a more complex geopolitical backdrop, that's for sure. We will, at this panel, look at how we can revive growth. We know that global growth is back. I think we expect around 3.1, 3.2% global growth this year. The trend growth, though, for the last 2 decades has been 4%. So we should look into how we can get back there. But we know that the single biggest risk we are faced with now is geopolitics. So just a few weeks ago, it could have ended with a full escalation in this region between Iran and Israel. That was avoided. But there's also a lot of other challenges geopolitically that we have to deal with, but also to avoid further escalation. We're coming back to that. We also have His Excellency President Abbas of Palestine with us here on the first row, and we know there is very important discussions going on just in this moment around the deteriorating humanitarian situation in Gaza. But to discuss all these topics, we, as I said, we really have such an excellent panel, and I think they're all ready to get started. We have Madam Kristalina Georgieva, the Managing Director of the IMF, and 2 weeks ago also given a new 5-year period. That was the best news that week, Kristalina. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Maybe the only good news that week, I don't know. Then we have His Excellency Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim. Thank you, Prime Minister. So good to see you. Then we have President of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Tinubu. Great to see you at the World Economic Forum. And our very good friend, His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of Rwanda. Great to see you, Mr. President. And last but not least, Peter Ortag, CEO of Lazard, United States of America. Thank you. Welcome. President Tinubu of Nigeria, I think you took over the presidency last year in May, so you have had 11 months as president. You took over at a critical time for Nigeria. The economic situation was tough, but you took measures from the beginning to then recalibrate the economy. You cut the subsidies on fossil fuels. You also took aims at dealing with the currency. And of course, it's been a tough year economically for Nigeria, but I guess you're now seeing also some light in the end of the tunnel. And Nigeria being such an important economy, not only in Africa, in the world, how do you see now the prospects, and what are your next steps to really make Nigeria's economy grow further?
Thank you very much. Salam alaikum. And let me, in addition, join in congratulating the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for putting this opportunity together. I know it's not easy. For Nigeria, we are immensely consistent with our belief that the economic collaboration and inclusiveness is necessary to engender stability in the rest of the world. Concerning the question of the subsidy removal, there's no doubt that it was a necessary action for my country not to go bankrupt. One, to reset the economy and the pathway to growth. It is going to be difficult, but the hallmark of leadership is taking difficult decisions at the time it ought to be taken decisively. That was necessary for the country. Yes, there will be blowback. There is expectation that the difficulty in it will be felt by a greater number of the people. But once, I believe it was their interest that is the focus of the government, it is easier to manage and explain the difficulties. Along the line, there is a parallel arrangement to really cushion the effect of the subsidy removal on the vulnerable population of the country. We share the pain across board. We cannot but include those who are very vulnerable. Luckily, we have a very vibrant, youthful population interested in discoveries. and highly ready for technology, good education, committed to growth. We were able to manage that and partition the economic drawback and the fallout of the subsidy removal. Equally, it engendered transparency, accountability, and physical discipline for the country. And that, to me, is more important to focus on what direction we should go. And we pursue that rigorously. The currency management was necessary equally to remove the artificial element of value in our currency. Let our local currency find its level and compete with the rest of the world currency and remove arbitrage, corruption, and opaqueness. That we did at the same time. That's a two-engine problem in a very turbulent situation for the government. But we are able to manage that turbulence because we prepared for inclusivity in governance and rapid communication with the public to really see what is necessary and what we must do. Today's forum is equally valuable for us to share experiences and share the hope of the future. What is missing? And I'm glad the kingdom rely on the window, the word collaboration and inclusiveness. The capital formation that is necessary to drive the economy, like agriculture, food security, innovation, technology advancement, must be an inclusive program of the entire world. No one should be left behind. The fear of lack of capital in Africa, stigmatization. And I'm glad the world is recognizing the need that the type of population growth that Africa is experiencing, the diversity of its resources, must be married with its economic opportunity. We must collaborate to do that, and that is what we are doing so far.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you also, Mr. President. President Tinubu, you have dealt with the domestic economic challenges, and in many ways Nigeria is a superpower in its region. But the region is looking also very challenging with Sahel, with the situation in Mali, Chad, also now in Niger. And I know the time is short, but is there any way we can see a stabilization in your surroundings in the years to come, or is it, does it look very, very grim?
Thank you very much. We are encouraging the entire world to pay attention to SAE and the countries around us in ECOWAS. As the chairman of the ECOWAS, I've witnessed the big influence of Nigeria to discourage unconstitutional change of government. That is stabilizing. Equally, we have eased the sanctions. We need to trade with one another, not fight each other. It is very, very necessary and compulsory for us to engender growth, stability, and economic prosperity for our people. The rest of the world needs to look at fundamentals of the problem, not just ordinary geopolitically. It has to go to the root. As the world paid attention to the poverty level of SAE and the rest of ECOWAS, have they helped the infusion of capital and pay adequate attention to the exploitation and opportunities availed by the mineral resources that is available? Are we going to play only a big brother's role in a talk shop without necessary action? We just have to be involved in the exploitation, promotion, and prosperity of that region in order to see peace and stability and economic growth. Thank you.
Thank you.